Typhoon Wipha, Hong Kong's rainy battle and aftermath. Typhoon Wipha delivers heavy rains to Hong Kong before weakening in Guangdong. On Sunday, Hong Kong faced relentless downpours as Typhoon Wipha swept through the region, moving southward before making landfall along the coast of Guangdong province in China. The storm left a trail of destruction, including uprooted trees and damaged scaffolding, prompting over 200 individuals to seek safety in temporary shelters. By 7:45 p.m., local weather officials had downgraded the typhoon warning to a number 3 strong wind signal. Earlier, at approximately 4 p.m., the alert had been reduced from the highest level of 10, which had been in effect for nearly 7 hours. Kenny Yuan, an Eastern District Councillor, remarked to Reuters, in comparison to past typhoons like Menghat and Hato, which wreaked far more havoc, this storm's effects were mostly confined to fallen trees and collapsed scaffolding. He made this statement while standing near a pile of bamboo scaffolding that had collapsed from a residential building undergoing renovations in North Point, a district close to the harbour, spilling onto the roadway. During the storm's passage, Hong Kong experienced over 110 millimeters, about 4 inches, of rainfall within a mere 3 hours, with wind gusts reaching up to 167 kilometers per hour, 103 miles per hour, at certain points. The city's observatory noted that the heaviest rainfall was concentrated in the northern areas adjacent to the mainland. According to a government statement, 26 individuals required medical attention at public hospitals during the typhoon, while 253 people sought refuge in shelters. Additionally, reports indicated that 471 trees had fallen across the city. As Wipha continued its westward trajectory, it made landfall near Taishan City in Guangdong around 5:50 p.m. and subsequently weakened into a severe tropical storm, as reported by China's state-run CCTV. In Macau, the world's largest gambling hub, authorities also downgraded the typhoon signal from 10 to 8, cautioning residents about potential flooding in the inner harbor and advising them to prioritize their safety, according to public broadcaster TDM. The Hong Kong Airport Authority reported that approximately 80,000 travelers were affected by the cancellation and rescheduling of 400 flights due to the typhoon's impact. Cathay Pacific Airways announced the cancellation of all flights at Hong Kong Airport from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday, waiving ticket change fees and facilitating rebooking for passengers. Moreover, most public transportation services in Hong Kong were suspended, including ferry services, due to the high sea swells caused by the storm. But here's where it gets controversial. Some may argue that the response to Typhoon Wipha was adequate, while others might contend that more could have been done to prepare for such natural disasters. What do you think? Did the authorities handle the situation effectively, or is there room for improvement? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tracking Tropical Storm Wipha, Updates and Map. Imagine a scenario where nature's raw power is on full display, and you're witnessing it unfold in real time. That's exactly what's happening with Tropical Storm Wipha, currently churning in the Gulf of Tonkin as of Monday morning Eastern Time, according to the latest advisory from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, https://www.metocee.navy.mil/jtwc/jtwc.html. But here's where it gets interesting. The storm is packing quite a punch, with sustained wind speeds reaching 58 miles per hour. To get a better sense of what Wipha looks like from space, satellite imagery plays a crucial role. These images can reveal the storm's strength, size, and how well it holds together. As a storm grows stronger, it might develop an eye at its center. When this eye appears symmetrical, it usually indicates that the storm is not facing any significant obstacles that could weaken it. And this is the part most people miss. The symmetry of the eye can tell us a lot about the storm's future behavior and intensity. While typhoons can occur at any time of the year, the peak season runs from early July through mid-December. During this period, typhoons often make landfall in regions like the Philippines, Japan, and Taiwan. They can also impact the Korean Peninsula, China, and Vietnam, bringing with them destructive winds and storm surges. But here's where it gets controversial. Typhoons have also struck U.S. territories, causing billions of dollars in damage. For instance, Super Typhoon Wipha battered Guam in May last year, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Sources and notes *. Tracking map *. The tracking data comes from the National Hurricane Center. The map displays areas with at least a 5% probability of being affected by the storm. The forecast covers up to 5 days, starting up to 3 hours before the storm reaches its latest known position. Wind speed probability data is not available for latitudes north of 60.25 degrees. Wind arrivals table * predicted arrival times of damaging winds, 58 miles per hour or higher, are based on an analysis of National Hurricane Center data by the New York Times. The geographic locations are sourced from the U.S. Census Bureau and Natural Earth, and time zones are determined using Google. There is a 10% chance that damaging winds will arrive before the earliest reasonable time and a 50% chance they will arrive before the most likely time. Radar map * radar imagery is provided by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, via Iowa State University. These composite images combine data from multiple radar stations in the NexRad network. Storm surge map * storm surge data is from the National Hurricane Center. The map focuses on the U.S. Gulf and Atlantic coast, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. It accounts for tides but not for waves or rain-induced flooding. The map also includes areas that regularly flood during normal high tides. Satellite map * satellite imagery is courtesy of NOAA and the Japanese Meteorological Agency, provided through the Cooperative Institute for Research in the Atmosphere. Precipitation map * multi-day forecast and observed rainfall totals are from the National Weather Service, while the one-day forecast is from NOAA. So, what do you think? Is the impact of typhoons on U.S. territories a concern that deserves more attention, or are we already doing enough to prepare for these natural disasters? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Typhoon Wipha aftermath, southern China floods and Vietnam braces for impact. Typhoon Wipha has left a trail of chaos across southern China, unleashing relentless storms that have flooded cities, triggered landslides, and disrupted daily life. But here's where it gets controversial. While authorities scramble to contain the damage, many question whether the response was enough to protect vulnerable communities. Let's break down what happened when this powerful storm hit. On July 21, the skies over Guangdong province darkened as Typhoon Wipha made landfall, bringing torrential rains that drenched cities like Zhuhai and Yangjiang. Social media images captured the dramatic approach of swirling clouds, a stark reminder of nature's fury. The storm, which had previously battered Hong Kong, left behind a trail of destruction. Trees uprooted, scaffolding collapsed, and nearly 280 people forced into shelters as flights were grounded. China's meteorological agency reported that Wipha weakened to a tropical storm upon touching land, but its path was far from over. Forecasters predicted it would skirt the Guangdong coast, heading toward Vietnam, where it could unleash even more devastation. Heavy rainfall was expected to persist until Tuesday morning, with warnings of flash floods, landslides, and dangerous winds. In fact, 20 rivers nationwide saw flood levels exceeding safety thresholds, according to state broadcaster CCTV. Yet, the recovery was surprisingly swift. Traffic controls on major highways connecting Shenzhen, Zhuhai, and Hong Kong were lifted by Sunday night, and train services gradually resumed. Authorities urged the public to stay alert for secondary disasters like mudslides, emphasizing the importance of vigilance in the aftermath. As Wipha moved into the Gulf of Tonkin, it gathered strength before heading toward Vietnam's northern coast. Vietnamese officials placed coastal provinces on high alert, warning of potential flooding and landslides. The Prime Minister sent urgent messages to evacuate residents from flood-prone areas, secure supplies, and prepare rescue equipment. Airlines across the country cancelled or rescheduled dozens of flights, highlighting the scale of the disruption. So, what does this mean for the future? Was the response to Wipha adequate, or did the region face a bigger challenge than anticipated? Did the coordination between China and Vietnam save lives, or were there gaps in preparedness? Share your thoughts in the comments, because the story of storms like Wipha is never just about the weather, but the people who fight to survive it.